Hi there. In this video we are going to be taking a look at this EINHELL, I hope it's pronounced, from Germany, angle grinder. The model name is TAAG 18-115 Li-Solo. Solo means it does not come with a battery, and I bought a separate battery. The video for the battery will be in the link of this one, and also some other videos for this type of brand tools if you want to watch those also. So let me give you some specs if I can. And my daughter trying to play with the cat in the area because yeah, that's what she does. As you can see, it seems to have a slim design, so yeah, the box seems to be quite small. I can agree to that. 3 position for the handle, we will see that a bit later. And yeah, all these tools work on the same type of batteries, which is perfect. Quick adjustment, yeah, for the protection, quick adjustment. This is the diameter for the disc itself, and this, I think it's the maximum depth that you can cut at, 28 millimeters. And restart protection, for me, somehow tells me that you shouldn't be able by mistake to power this thing on when you drop it or something like that. Yeah, and my daughter making even more noise because, again, that's what she does. So let's cut this and unbox it. Okay, so let's get this thing off. In my country, if I register this, probably for everybody in Europe is the same, I will get one more year of warranty, which is perfect. Total of 3 years, quite decent in my opinion. So put that aside. Already screwed this partially in, and in here we have the tool to lock the disc in place. Where is this thing? Cannot. Yep, now it's good. Obviously this button right here to be able to actually lock that, so it blocks the spinning of this thing. And I think that protection that it cannot restart itself is because you cannot actually push this thing to start unless you pull it, quite hard to show you with one hand, unless you pull it like this, and then it starts and works, and when you unlock it, you stop it, it goes in there, and you cannot start it again unless once more you push it like this to the right and then to start it, which is quite nice, a good safety feature in my opinion. This thing really thick, and it has this quick mechanism in here. When you release it, and you will be able to move it in more than one position, you will be able to rotate it as you need, and then once again lock it in place. Again, I really like this, so let's put this on. Okay, so to put this thing on, you need an 8mm hex. You need to undo this screw just a tiny bit, because as you can see we have these embossings right here that will not pass through this. So the quickly release mechanism only works once it is actually in the proper position. But first you also need to undo this screw a tiny bit to get it in its place. And just something else that I want to mention, this thing that is right here, which I actually locked in place, to me it seems a really nice design. Yeah, really hard to get it out with one hand, because it locks in there, so you always have it, you cannot lose it. And I think I put it wrong. It has oopsie daisy, it has a channel. You might be able to see it down there a tiny bit, that particular channel that it actually goes into and latches in place, something like this, and it's locked. And this thing has 8 8500 RPM, as you can see in here. And something that not all of them have, this arrow that shows you the direction of rotation. For the really cheap ones you sometimes have to guess, but I think it's quite universal. But I like this, the fact that they add it here, it's a bonus in my opinion. And yes, some quite thick rubber in here, as you can see, easily to leave marks onto. And yeah, there's that. Let's put this on. Okay, so if you want to see the datasheet for this thing, normally it would come from the factory. If you don't buy the solo variant that comes without a battery, it would come with a 3 amp battery. I bought for it a 2.5 that I'm going to use again for more devices, so that should be still enough. And if you need, this thing is M14, but I think that's quite standard. So yeah, there's that. What can I say? In my opinion, this thing, up until now, I honestly really like their design choices in here. And this is not a tool for professionals that work with this every single day, every single moment. In my opinion, this is more like a hobby tool, home use tool, and this is exactly what I'm going to use it for. Even a professional could use this from time to time if they are the type that actually take care of their tools. If they don't take care of the tools, they will break this, I'm sure of it. For me, it will replace this thing right here, which, as you can see, it's thicker for sure, same diameter, and it's no name, obviously. RPMs, for sure this thing should have more, I'm expecting. If yeah, 11,000. So there's that. Same M14 for that thing. And yeah, this didn't have the direction arrow on it. And there's that. Protection, yes, it had this top part in here that this doesn't, but this is bent all over, this wasn't, so there's that. Again, this is a cheap tool, but over the years this has been used quite a bit and it's still working. So that shows you that for home use, if you take care of your tools, you don't need to buy extremely expensive tools. You just need to buy decent quality tools like this and take care of them. Quite simple. So let me see if the battery is already charged and put it this thing and just give it a quick spin. And obviously I will test this for a long time and give you an answer on how it works and if I like it by the end of this video. So let's continue. Okay, so to attach this thing, obviously push the button, it will lock the shaft itself, and then with this tool simply rotate it anti-clockwise and it should unlock this first, I don't know, nut slash washer slash retaining whatever. Then put this and tighten everything back up. And this thing is on and tightened, and I think the hole in the middle it's about 22 millimeters or something like that for this, and probably this is standard. Okay, it's tightened. The center diameter it's about 22 millimeters, but I'm expecting it to be quite standard for this size of discs. So yeah, there's that, but that's what it measures. Okay, measured with calipers, the centering hole for this disc is about 22 millimeters or something like that, but I'm expecting it to be standard for this size of discs. So yeah, there's that. Let's go check on the battery that's charging. Okay, so this is the battery that I'm going to use with it. Again, it's 2.5. Normally it should have a 3 amp, but I think it's going to be fine for my use. So let's plug it in. Obviously make sure that that thing is off, and it is. It will be a bit hard for me to plug it in with only one hand, but yep, it locked. So let's give it a quick test with one hand once again, which Okay. I can say that it makes less noise than the socket powered one that I have, and yep, it's ready to work with, and it doesn't stay on the battery because it's way too top heavy. So there's that. As far as I know, you always need to put this thing with the disc on the top, not face down. So yeah, at this point I like what I see, I like how it feels. It is decently heavy, so don't think this is a toy, it's not. This is decently heavy, kind of comparable to my other one, honestly. But yeah, and if you put a bigger battery, obviously it will start to make it heavier, the battery itself. Not much, but it will. Now I'm not just going to go test and grind something for this video, I'm actually going to use this thing and film moments when I'm using it and add them to this video, and then give you an ending to this review after this has been used for a while. And yes, just want to give everybody a warning, you should and probably already know this, do not use power tools like this without proper eye protection and whatever. Use protection. You don't want to lose an eye or something over a disc failing, so there's that. Just wanted to add, to remove the battery, obviously press this and pull it out, and to see how much charge you have left, push on that, it's fully charged now. So let me see if I can somehow hold it down while actually pulling this out, and I can. This is the thing that latches in. Now let's use this, and don't put it face down. Okay, we have been using this thing for a while, as you can see on that, working perfectly, and now I need to cut that one because it's stubborn and I can't drive it in and I cannot take it out, so it's going to be cut with this, but off camera because I don't have 3 hands and I don't have a tripod with me for the moment. As you would expect, it cut through that ring like through cheese, and I needed to put this, or actually is it like through butter? Anyway, I needed to put this on to have a better grip on it. Still working as expected without absolutely any issues. Okay, just want to tell you something about this tool. My father mostly uses it. He grinded the edges of our staircase with this particular attachment, and he kind of needed the bigger 4 amp hour battery. The 2.5, this thing would stop if you would push really hard on it, but as you can see, this really fills up with the wood, so the friction is really high. But for power intensive tasks, a bigger battery is better. So yeah, that's about that. Used this thing once again with a stone Bosch disc to enlarge this hole on the lower side, as you can see, because I couldn't reach that screw hole right there in the middle. Who made this hole made it a bit crooked, so that screw hole was hidden for me, but this thing cut without issues. So again, really good for a small job that I need to do. Doing some water connections. This thing in here with the battery, where I don't have enough room and no electricity, is the best possible thing to cut these screws, which are obviously too long. So I will do that and get back to you. It cut through them perfectly and absolutely no issues. Yeah, you might be thinking why I'm not showing when I'm cutting. I don't have a tripod with me in here, and I'm not going to cut with this thing with one hand, so I split this blade and impale myself. It's cutting exactly like you would expect. I've had this thing basically stop on itself with the small 2.5 amp battery. With the 4 amp battery that almost never happens. but with this smaller thing you can actually make the blade, especially the stone blade, not this metal one, actually get stuck if you really push it, and it will basically just stop. You get it out, start it again, and it will not restart by itself. If it stopped, you need to stop it from the button and restart it, and then you continue to cut. With a 4 amp battery, that almost never happens. But for me, I prefer this thing being stuck as opposed to just throwing it against me. So yeah, keep in mind, this is a smaller tool. It's a 115mm blade. So yeah, it's working exactly as I would expect it to work. And for this thing, perfect. Don't know if I had a chance to tell you already, but I use this thing with this diamond tip drill or something like that to cut through porcelain tile, which is extremely hard, and this thing worked brilliantly, and I will show you that in high speed next. So to conclude this video, this thing honestly is awesome. I really like the fact that it has its key right here in the handle, so I don't lose it. It's always close. This easy release rotate the protection. Also, I really like it, as you can see, still having this on it, because yes, I found myself mostly needing to drill holes into really tough tile. So yeah, there's that. And as for batteries, yeah, I tend to not leave them connected to my tools when they are not in use, because with 2 young daughters in the house, yeah, better safe than sorry. So I recommend you get, for simple light jobs, you are almost okay with a 2.5 amp hour battery. But if you do some more demanding work, go for a 4 amp minimum or even higher amperage battery, just to make sure that this thing is working at its max. And that's about it for this video. I like it. I will obviously continue to use it. Ask whatever you need in the comments. I will do my best to answer. And yeah, as always, see you in the next one. Bye.